What if the next Avengers movie starts with a bloodbath? Picture this: Spider-Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, heroes we've cheered for, fought with, and cried over, wiped out in the opening minutes of Avengers Doomsday. But wait, what if these aren't our Avengers? What if Dr. Doom, the MCU's newest big bad, is slaughtering a team from another universe to flex his power? And here's the real kicker. Could this multiversal massacre just be the start of Doom's plan to become the God Emperor in Avengers Secret Wars? Let's kick things off with a simple question. How do you top Thanos? In Avengers Infinity War, Thanos didn't just win. He erased half of all life with a snap of his fingers. That moment left audiences stunned, theaters silent, and the MCU changed forever. Now, Avengers Doomsday is the penultimate film of the multiverse saga, and Dr. Doom, played by the incredible Robert Downey Jr., has some massive shoes to fill. So how does Marvel make Doom feel like a threat on par with, or even bigger than, Thanos? Here's where our theory comes in. Avengers Doomsday could open with Dr. Doom annihilating an entire team of Avengers. Spider-Man? Gone. Thor? Done. Doctor Strange? Out! But here's the twist. These aren't the Avengers from Earth 616, the main MCU universe. They're variants, heroes from another reality. Why does this matter? Because it instantly shows Doom's power without killing off our beloved heroes right away. Think about it. What better way to introduce Doom as a terrifying force than by showing him crush a team of heroes who look just like the ones we know? It's bold, it's shocking, and it sets the stage for the multiversal chaos to come. But why would Marvel go this route? Let's break it down. So, why would Dr. Doom target a variant Avengers team? Let's start with the multiverse. The multiverse saga has been all about different realities colliding. Think Spider-Man, No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or even Loki. The multiverse lets Marvel play with endless possibilities, including alternate versions of our favorite heroes. But it also raises the stakes. If Doom can wipe out an entire Avengers team from one universe, what's stopping him from doing it to ours? This theory suggests that Avengers Doomsday will use the multiverse to show Doom's dominance. Imagine the opening scene. A team of Avengers we don't quite recognize. Maybe a Spider-Man with a different suit, a Thor with a new hammer, or a Doctor Strange with a unique cloak battling Doom. They're powerful. They're confident. And then, boom, Doom obliterates them. The screen fades to black and we're left wondering, who's next? This move does two things. First, it establishes Doom as a threat who doesn't mess around. Unlike Thanos, who took half a movie to collect the Infinity Stones, Doom could show his power in minutes. Second, it highlights the multiverse's role in the story. If Doom can destroy one universe's Avengers, it makes us question whether Earth 616's team, our team, has any chance. But here's a question for you. Do you think Doom could take down our Avengers as easily as he takes down a variant team? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you think. Let's talk about that gut punch moment from Infinity War. When Thanos snapped his fingers, we watched heroes like Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Groot fade away. It was heartbreaking, shocking, and unforgettable. Marvel knows they need to deliver something just as big for Doomsday. So how do you match that level of impact without copying it? Killing a variant Avengers team could be the answer. Picture this. The movie opens with a high-stakes battle. We see familiar faces, but something's off. Maybe Iron Man's armor is a different color, or Captain America's shield has a new design. The audience is hooked thinking, wait, are these our heroes? Then Doom steps in, and it's a massacre. The shock value is huge because we're seeing heroes we love, or at least versions of them, fall in a way we never expected. This approach also protects the main MCU timeline. If Marvel killed off Earth 616's Spider-Man or Thor right at the start, It'd risk alienating fans and ruining character arcs built over years. But by using variants, they can deliver that Infinity War level shock without permanently damaging the core team. Plus, it sets up the stakes. If Doom can do this to one universe, what's stopping him from targeting ours? Here's a question to keep you thinking. Would you be more shocked to see a variant Avengers team die, or would you rather see our main heroes face Doom right away? Let me know in the comments. Now let's talk about Dr. Doom himself. For those who don't know, Victor Von Doom is one of Marvel's most iconic villains. He's a genius scientist, a master sorcerer, and a ruler with an iron fist, literally. Unlike Thanos, who had a twisted moral code, Doom is driven by ego and a desire for absolute control. If anyone's going to take on an entire Avengers team, variant or not, it's him. Doom's also got the skills to back it up. In the comics, he's tangled with the Fantastic Four, stolen the power of gods, and even ruled the multiverse as God Emperor Doom in Secret Wars. The MCU's version, played by Robert Downey Jr., is likely to lean into that same larger-than-life vibe. Killing a variant Avengers team would be the perfect way to show that this isn't just another villain. This is a guy who could outsmart Doctor Strange, overpower Thor, and outwit Tony Stark. But here's the thing. Doom's not just about brute force. He's a strategist. This theory suggests he might target a variant team not just to flex his power, but to send a message across the multiverse. I'm coming for you. It's psychological warfare, and it's exactly the kind of move Doom would make. What do you think Doom's ultimate plan is? Is he just out for destruction? Or is there a bigger game he's playing? Share your theories below. Here's where things get really wild. Many fans, including myself, believe Avengers Doomsday is setting up Dr. Doom to become the God Emperor in Avengers Secret Wars, the multiverse saga's big finale. In the comics, God Emperor Doom creates Battle World, a patchwork planet made from pieces of different realities, and rules it with absolute power. If the MCU is heading that way, Doomsday needs to show Doom building toward that goal. Killing a variant Avengers team could be step one. It proves Doom can dominate entire realities, not just individual heroes. It also ties into the multiverse's rules. Think about Loki and the TVA, where pruning timelines was a way to control chaos. Doom might be pruning entire universes to consolidate power, paving the way for his battle world. But here's the scary part. If Doom's willing to kill variant Avengers, what's stopping him from targeting Earth 616? The theory suggests that not all our heroes will make it out of Doomsday unscathed. Maybe one or two, like Spider-Man or Doctor Strange, face serious consequences, setting up the high stakes for Secret Wars. What do you think? Will any of our main Avengers fall to Doom in Doomsday? And if so, who's most at risk? Let's hear your predictions. Let's tie it all together. This theory about Dr. Doom killing a variant Avengers team checks a lot of boxes for Marvel. First, it delivers a shocking opening that grabs the audience, just like Infinity War did. Second, it uses the multiverse to raise the stakes without breaking the main timeline. Third, it sets up Doom as a villain who can carry the multiverse saga to its climax in Secret Wars. But there's another reason this feels right. It's practical. Marvel's been criticized for juggling too many characters in the multiverse saga. By focusing on a variant team early on, they can show a big, bold moment without committing to permanent losses right away. It's a way to keep fans on edge while protecting the arcs of heroes like Captain America, Sam Wilson, Shang-Chi, or Black Panther, Shuri. Plus, it's a chance to flex the multiverse's potential. We could see crazy variants like a Spider-Man who's more like Venom, or a Thor who wields a cosmic weapon instead of Mjolnir. It'd be a visual feast and a way to keep the multiverse fresh and exciting. Here's one last question. What kind of variant Avengers would you love to see in Doomsday? A punk rock Spider-Man? A sorcerer Thor? Drop your ideas in the comments. So, there you have it. a theory that could redefine Avengers Doomsday and the entire multiverse saga. Who is Doctor Doom? If you're new to the MCU or Marvel Comics, Victor Von Doom is no ordinary villain. He's a super genius, a master of science and magic, and the iron-fisted ruler of Latveria, a fictional Eastern European nation. Born to a Romani family, Doom's life was shaped by tragedy. His mother, Cynthia, died after a deal with the demon Mephisto, fueling his lifelong quest for power and revenge. What makes Doom so dangerous? His intellect rivals Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four. In fact, they were college rivals, and Doom blames Richards for a lab accident that scarred his face, forcing him to hide behind his iconic metal mask. That grudge drives his vendetta against the Fantastic Four, but his ambitions go way beyond personal beefs. Doom wants to rule the world, maybe even the multiverse, by any means necessary. What if Doom's hatred for Richards is just the tip of the iceberg? Could his plans involve rewriting reality itself? In the comics, Doom's no stranger to stealing cosmic powers from beings like the Silver Surfer, the Beyonder, and even the Scarlet Witch. He's even become Sorcerer Supreme, wielding magic on a godlike level. With Robert Downey Jr. stepping into those armored boots, how much of this comic book chaos will spill into the MCU? Let's find out. So, why is Doctor Doom showing up now? The MCU's multiverse saga has been building since Loki introduced the multiverse and the Time Variance Authority, or TVA, which prunes alternate timelines to protect the sacred timeline. But after Jonathan Majors' departure as Kang the Conqueror, Marvel pivoted hard. Enter Doctor Doom as the new big bad, with Avengers Doomsday replacing Avengers the Kang Dynasty. Why the switch? Here's the deal. Kang was a time-traveling conqueror, but Doom? He's a multiversal god. In the comics, Doom's been a central figure in Secret Wars, where he reshapes the multiverse into Battleworld, ruling as God Emperor Doom. Marvel's decision to bring him in suggests they're aiming for something bigger than Kang's chaos. But here's the kicker. What if Doom's been in the MCU all along, pulling strings from the shadows? Think about it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness dropped a major clue with Reed Richards' teleportation device, which producer Richie Palmer confirmed was Doom's time platform from the comics. Could Doom have been lurking in an alternate universe, waiting for his moment? And with the Fantastic Four, first step set to introduce him in a post-credits scene, his rise is imminent. Here's a question to keep you hooked. Is Doom a variant of Tony Stark or a completely new beast? Fans are buzzing about whether RDJ's casting means Doom is a dark Iron Man from another universe. Or maybe he's just Victor Von Doom, looking like Tony to mess with our heroes' heads. Either way, his arrival signals a seismic shift. What do you think? Comment below. Now let's get to the juicy part. What's Doctor Doom planning? In the comics, Doom's ultimate flex is in Secret Wars, 2015, where he steals the power of the Beyonders, near-omnipotent beings, and creates Battleworld, a patchwork planet where he rules as a god. He even takes Reed Richards' wife Sue Storm and kids as his own just to spite his rival. Savage, right? But how does this translate to the MCU? One wild theory suggests Doom's targeting anchor beings, characters whose existence holds entire universes together. In Deadpool and Wolverine, we learned about anchor beings, like Wolverine, whose death could destabilize a timeline. Guess who's a prime candidate for the MCU's anchor being? Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Why? He's the most popular hero globally, with Spider-Man No Way Home nearly hitting $2 billion at the box office. Here's the theory. Doom could be hopping across universes, killing anchor beings to collapse realities and consolidate power. By destroying these key figures, he'd force survivors to bow to him on Battleworld, just like in the comics. Spider-Man, with his emotional ties to RDJ's Tony Stark, would be a perfect target for Doom to exploit. Imagine the heartbreak if Doom, looking like Tony, takes out Peter Parker. Brutal, right? But wait, there's more. Another theory ties Doom to adamantium, the indestructible metal teased in Captain America: Brave New World. In the comics, Doom once used celestial technology to gain godlike power. What if he harnesses adamantium, infused with celestial energy from Eternals, to build a weapon or armor capable of wiping out entire universes? Could this be how he takes down the Avengers? What if Doom's already destroyed his own universe? Some fans think the Fantastic Four first steps will show Doom's world devoured by Galactus, forcing him to invade Earth 616. That could explain why he's so desperate to control the multiverse. What do you think his endgame is? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about the multiverse's mechanics. The TVA, introduced in Loki, is all about maintaining one timeline to avoid cataclysmic chaos. But Doctor Strange, in the Multiverse of Madness, introduced incursions, events where universes collide and destroy each other. These are key to Doom's comic book plans, and they're likely central to his MCU takeover. In Secret Wars, Doom uses incursions to his advantage, building Battleworld from the scraps of dying universes. A leaked concept art, later debunked by Marvel, suggested Avengers Doomsday might show Doom destroying the multiverse halfway through, setting up Battleworld for the second half. Even if the art was fake, the idea fits Doom's MO, total control through chaos. Here's where it gets wild. Some fans think Doom might hijack the TVA's tech to manipulate timelines or even merge all universes into one under his rule. The TVA's For All Time motto ties to Avengers Doomsday's production company name, hinting at a connection. Could Doom use the TVA to prune timelines that don't serve his vision? And here's a chilling question. What if Doom's already working with the TVA? Loki showed us the TVA isn't always trustworthy. If Doom's pulling their strings, he could be orchestrating incursions to weaken the multiverse before his big move. What do you think? Could the TVA be Doom's secret weapon? Let us know below. Hold up. Did you know Dr. Doom is currently the Sorcerer Supreme in Marvel Comics? After Doctor Strange got sidelined during the Blood Hunt event, Doom took his mantle and refused to give it back. Now, he's using magic to dominate Earth as Emperor Doom in The Rise of Emperor Doom. Why does this matter for the MCU? Doom's comic book magic comes from his mother's teachings and his quest to free her soul from Mephisto. With RDJ's Doom potentially wielding dark magic, he could overpower heroes like Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch. One theory even suggests Doom kills Baron Mordo, tying up an 8-year-old MCU loose end to prove his magical dominance. Here's a question to spark your curiosity. Could Doom's magic make him unstoppable? If he's Sorcerer Supreme and a tech genius, he's a double threat. Imagine him combining a sling ring with his time platform to jump universes at will. What kind of chaos could he unleash? Share your predictions in the comments. Let's zoom out to the big picture. Battleworld. In the 2015 Secret Wars, Doom creates this patchwork planet from multiversal fragments, ruling as God Emperor with an iron fist. He even rewrites history, making himself the husband of Sue Storm and father to her kids. Talk about petty. In the MCU, Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars are set to wrap up the multiverse saga, and fans are betting on a Battleworld storyline. The Russo brothers, who directed Endgame, have hinted that these films are a new beginning for the MCU, fueling theories of a soft reboot. What's a soft reboot? It's a reset that keeps some elements of the MCU while rewriting others, like bringing in the X-Men or reviving dead heroes like Tony Stark or Natasha Romanoff as new variants. Here's the scary part. Doom could kill major heroes to cement his power. A theory suggests he'll take out heavy hitters like Thor, Hulk, or even Spider-Man to prove he's the ultimate villain. But thanks to the multiverse, their deaths might not be permanent. New variants could return in a rebooted MCU. And here's a mind-blowing question. What if Doom wins? In the comics, Reed Richards defeats him with the Molecule Man's help. But what if the MCU lets Doom rule Battleworld for a while? Could we see a darker MCU where Doom's vision of order reigns supreme? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's circle back to Spider-Man. Why is he so crucial? Beyond being a potential anchor being, Peter Parker's emotional connection to Tony Stark makes him a prime target for RDJ's Doom. Imagine the gut punch of Peter facing a villain who looks like his mentor. It's psychological warfare at its finest. One theory posits that Doom, possibly a Tony Stark variant from another universe, uses this resemblance to manipulate Peter. In Spider-Man: No Way Home, Peter's actions cracked open the multiverse, making him a magnet for trouble. If Doom's hunting anchor beings, Peter's popularity and power make him a must-eliminate target. But here's the big debate. Is RDJ's Doom a Tony Stark variant or just Victor Von Doom? Some fans think Marvel's playing a metagame, using RDJ's casting to blur the lines between hero and villain. Others argue Doom should be his own character, not tied to Stark, to honor his comic roots. What do you think? Should Doom be a Dark Tony or a standalone threat? Comment below. Here's the million-dollar question. Is the MCU headed for a reboot? Avengers Secret Wars is inspired by the 2015 comic event that restructured Marvel's entire multiverse. With no projects announced after Secret Wars, fans suspect Marvel's planning a soft reboot to integrate the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and new versions of retired or dead heroes. Why a reboot? The MCU's Phase 4 and 5 have faced criticism for feeling disjointed, and a reset could streamline the narrative. Doom's Battleworld could be the perfect vehicle, allowing Marvel to merge universes and rewrite history so mutants and the Fantastic Four have always existed on Earth 616. But what about the cost? A reboot risks alienating fans who've invested 15+ years in the MCU. Yet, the multiverse makes it possible to keep fan favorites like Spider-Man or Shang-Chi while introducing new variants of Iron Man or Captain America. Could Doom's plan, merging all realities into one, be the catalyst? Here's a final question to hook you. Will Marvel dare to let Doom reshape the MCU? If he succeeds, even temporarily, we could see a radically different universe. What heroes would you want to see return in a rebooted MCU? Let us know in the comments. So, will Dr. Doom destroy the MCU's multiverse, or is he paving the way for a bold new era? From his comic book roots as a genius tyrant to his upcoming MCU debut in the Fantastic Four, first steps, Doom's plans are shaping up to be the biggest threat the Avengers have ever faced. Whether he's hunting anchor beings like Spider-Man, wielding adamantium and celestial power, or hijacking the TVA to trigger incursions, Doom's endgame could lead to Battleworld and a soft reboot that changes the MCU forever. Let's begin at the heart of the chaos, the Council of Kangs. The final scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, left us with a chilling cliffhanger. Thousands of Kang variants assembling in an arena, ready to declare war on every universe. But here's the twist. What if their story ends before it even begins? The multiverse isn't undone by internal Kang warfare, but by an external, unexpected, and far more dangerous figure, Dr. Doom. A being of pure intellect, brutal efficiency, and unmatched sorcery, Doom doesn't waste time. He doesn't join the council, he eliminates it. One by one, Kang variants fall. Not in battle, in ambush. No time to unite, no time to retaliate. Only silence and fear. Now imagine the Council of Kangs destroyed in their own sacred arena. Their timelines vanish, leaving quantum echoes across the multiverse. Who could have bypassed their technology? Who could have known where and when they'd meet? Only someone who understands both the mystic arts and quantum mechanics. Someone who studied time not to conquer it, but to own it. Doom. With his Latvian empire already reaching heights unseen in his own universe, Doom's obsession with order and godhood leads him to the council. But he doesn't just kill them to send a message. No. Doom kills them because he sees their flaw. They're fragmented, selfish, and arrogant. Kang is a conqueror. Doom is a ruler. There's a difference. Doom doesn't conquer to destroy. He conquers to rebuild in his image. Once the Kangs are erased, only one major force remains to protect the multiverse, the TVA. But here's the problem. The TVA is already fractured. After the events of Loki Season 2, the entire TVA rests on a fragile balance with Loki as its guardian. He holds the multiverse together as the god of stories, sitting atop the temporal branches like Yggdrasil itself. But he is not omnipotent. He is spread thin, keeping countless timelines from collapsing. His attention is everywhere, and that's exactly when Doom strikes. Doom doesn't need to destroy the TVA physically, he infiltrates it philosophically. He infects the system with doubt, offers forbidden truths to TVA analysts, reveals the secret that he who remains wasn't the worst-case scenario, that it gets much, much darker. Through manipulation, Doom turns key TVA members to his side. Perhaps it's General Dox's ideology that gets revived. Or maybe a rogue hunter becomes obsessed with Doom's doctrine of absolute order. Either way, an internal coup brews inside the TVA. And Loki? He's not there to stop it. He's busy, everywhere else. Until it's too late. Doom doesn't face Loki in open combat. He targets the roots of the Tree of Time. Maybe he finds the Loom's core. Maybe he cracks the mystery of Ouroboros temporal engineering. But in the end, it happens. Loki is dethroned. Not with fire, with cold calculating precision. Doom walks into the TVA throne room, sits upon the temporal seat, and rewrites the story itself. Now, let's ask the real question, why? Why does Doom want the TVA? It's not just about control, it's about certainty. Doom has seen universes rise and fall. He's watched gods bicker, heroes fail, and timelines spiral into madness. The TVA is the tool to end chaos. And if Doom holds it, he can mold a multiverse that fits his vision. A multiverse with no Avengers, no cosmic threats, no unpredictability, only Doom's will. And this is where it ties into the upcoming Avengers Doomsday movie. Think about that title, Doomsday. It's not just a clever play on words. It's literal. Doomsday has come. He is the storm. The collapse of the TVA sends ripple effects across all timelines. Universes that depended on TVA corrections fall into ruin. Incursions spike. Earths collide. Heroes vanish. And then, Doom makes his official appearance. Not from a portal, not in a cameo, but in the center of destruction, revealing himself as the new keeper of time. The Avengers? They're scattered, confused, dealing with remnants of Kang's empire. But now they face something they don't understand, a villain who isn't just a threat to their world, but to all of them. Imagine Doom arriving on Earth 616 not as a secret villain, but as a self-proclaimed liberator. He broadcasts across universes, declaring Kang's rule over the TVA cleansed and a new age of stability beginning under his reign. Some worlds welcome him, others resist. But Doom doesn't offer negotiation. He offers command. This triggers the Avengers to reform, but they're no longer just fighting to save Earth. They're fighting to take back the TVA. Because as long as Doom has it, he can rewrite anything. The Time Variance Authority becomes a weapon of manipulation, turning key moments of Marvel history upside down. The snap never happened. Ultron wins in one world. Mutants are never born in another. It's chaos, wrapped in Doom's idea of order. And that makes him the most terrifying villain yet. Now picture the build-up to this. Strange senses the balance of mystical time breaking. Wanda, if she returns, feels something wrong in the fabric of reality itself. Dead timelines are reanimating. The multiversal Illuminati reform in secret. And who do they fear? Not Kang, not Galactus, not even the Beyonders, but Doom. Because he's not just rewriting fate, he's editing the very meaning of good and evil. And Loki? Trapped within the dying tree of timelines, whispering a warning no one hears, he's coming. And he's already here. Here's a detail that may tie this all together: Doom's armor. In many comic runs, Doom's armor isn't just technological. It's mystical, built with pieces of enchanted material, powered by both science and sorcery. What if Doom in the MCU wears armor designed not only to withstand temporal decay, but to absorb it? What if he survives in timelines that collapse, harvesting energy from dying worlds to empower himself? That's how he walks into the TVA untouched. That's how he deletes Kang's variants from existence. That's how he dethrones a god. And here's where it gets chilling. What if Doom uses Loki's own power to cement his rule? Maybe he doesn't kill Loki, but traps him, encodes him into a time loop prison where he watches the TVA bend to Doom's will endlessly. Think Dormammu, but reversed. Loki becomes the prisoner of the very system he tried to protect. And the Avengers? They're not just outnumbered, they're outmaneuvered. Because Doom knows their every move. He sees their pasts, their futures, their deaths. He uses the TVA's archives not to erase them, but to unmake their victories. Stark never invents the suit. Thor never lifts the hammer. Cap never wakes up. Doom creates a multiverse where he always wins until one last rebellion rises. And that might be where Secret Wars comes in. The multiversal remnants, broken heroes, and variant versions of familiar characters rise to fight Doom in a fragmented universe. A battle world, perhaps, built from shattered pieces of realities he controls. And in the center, Doom, godlike, wielding the power of the TVA like a scepter. He doesn't want a throne on Earth. He wants the seat of creation. But the real terror isn't just his power, it's his conviction. Doom truly believes he is the answer, that he's saving us from ourselves, that every death, every sacrifice, every erased world is justified, because in the mind of Doom, only he can wield the sacred timeline, only he is worthy. In the comics, Victor Von Doom isn't just a villain with a grudge, he's a mastermind who's stolen the powers of gods, outsmarted cosmic beings, and even claimed the title of Sorcerer Supreme. From snatching the Silver Surfer's cosmic surfboard to wielding Scarlet Witch's reality-bending magic, Doom's hunger for control knows no limits. Why does Doom hate Reed so much? Is it jealousy over Reed's brain, his family, or something deeper? In the comics, Doom's grudge started in college when a failed experiment blamed on Reed scarred his face and fueled his vendetta. But it's not just about a bad lab day. Doom believes he's destined to rule not just Latveria, but everything. He's not a villain who wants to destroy the world. He wants to fix it, under his iron fist, of course. This makes him dangerous in a way Loki or Thanos could only dream of. So what's his deal? Is he a mad scientist, a power-hungry tyrant, or a misunderstood genius? Maybe all three. What do you think? Can a villain like Doom ever be right? Now, with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom in the MCU, the stakes feel higher. RDJ's Tony Stark was a fan favorite for his charm and wit, so how will he tackle Doom's cold, calculating vibe? Will we see a Doom who's more human, or will he be a full-on tyrant? Let's explore what makes Doom tick and why his plans could shake the MCU to its core. Here's where things get wild. In the comics, Dr. Doom doesn't just fight heroes, he takes on gods. Let's break down some of his biggest power steals, because this is where we see Doom's true ambitions. First up, the Silver Surfer. In Fantastic Four, ISU 57-60, 1966, Doom traps the Surfer, steals his power cosmic, and becomes a literal force of nature. Imagine a guy with a metal mask zooming around on a cosmic surfboard, bending reality to his will. Why did he do it? To prove he could. But here's the question. Was Doom reckless, or was he testing the limits of his own genius? Then there's the Beyonder, a being so powerful he created an entire multiverse for fun in Secret Wars in 1984. Doom didn't just challenge him, he stole the Beyonder's power, becoming a god. For a moment, Doom controlled reality itself, reshaping worlds to fit his vision. Spoiler, it didn't last, but it showed us Doom's endgame. He doesn't just want power, he wants to rewrite existence. Why? Because he thinks he's the only one who can do it right. Do you think Doom's arrogance is his strength or his downfall? And let's not forget Scarlet Witch. In Avengers The Children's Crusade, 2010, Doom manipulates Wanda Maximoff's reality-warping powers to reshape the world. He's not just stealing magic, he's using her chaos magic to play God again. This is a guy who's tangled with the most powerful forces in Marvel and walked away. What does this tell us? Doom's not afraid to punch above his weight. But here's a big question. If Doom can take on cosmic beings, what's stopping him from doing it in the MCU? These power grabs aren't random. Each one shows Doom's obsession with control over science, magic, and reality itself. He's not just a villain, he's a visionary with a god complex. So, how does this translate to the MCU? With RDJ as Doom, will we see him chase cosmic powers, like the power cosmic, or chaos magic? Could he target someone like Doctor Strange or even the multiverse saga's new heroes? Let's keep digging. Now let's talk magic. Dr. Doom isn't just a tech genius, he's one of the most powerful sorcerers in Marvel. In Doctor Strange and Dr. Doom, Triumph and Torment, 1989, Doom teams up with Strange to save his mother's soul from the demon Mephisto. This isn't just a side quest, it shows Doom's mastery of magic. He's not just dabbling, he's on par with the Sorcerer Supreme. And in What If? Dr. Doom had become Sorcerer Supreme, 2005. Doom actually takes the title wielding magic on a godlike level. What's crazy is how Doom blends science and sorcery. He's built machines to channel mystical energy, like in Fantastic Four ISU 5, 1962, where he uses tech to amplify his spells. This makes him unpredictable. Is he a scientist using magic or a sorcerer using tech? Why does this matter? Because in the MCU, magic is a big deal. Think Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Loki. If Doom's bringing his mystic game, he could outsmart even the Sanctum Sanctorum. So here's a question for you. Could RDJ's Doom become the MCU's next Sorcerer Supreme? With Doctor Strange's future uncertain after Multiverse of Madness, there's a power vacuum. Imagine Doom stepping in, combining his tech with magic to challenge reality itself. Would you want to see RDJ cast spells in that iconic green cloak? Or do you think the MCU will keep Doom's focus on science? Let's see how this could play out. Okay, let's get to the juicy part. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. When Marvel announced RDJ's casting at Comic-Con, fans lost it. Why? Because RDJ was Tony Stark for over a decade. Now, he's trading Iron Man's red and gold for Doom's green and silver. But here's the big question. How will RDJ's Doom differ from his Tony Stark? Will he bring the same charisma, or will he go full dark side? In the comics, Doom's a complex guy, arrogant but principled, ruthless but loyal to his people. RDJ's charm could make Doom a fan-favorite villain, but the MCU has to nail his motivations. Will they lean into his rivalry with Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal, in the upcoming Fantastic Four? Or will they go bigger, tying Doom to the multiverse saga's cosmic stakes? Here's a theory. What if Doom's plan is to rewrite the MCU's reality? Think about it. The MCU's been building toward multiversal chaos with Loki, What If, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Doom could be the puppet master, using his comic book playbook to steal power from someone like the Watcher or even Kang's remnants. In Avengers Secret Wars 2027, the comics show Doom creating Battleworld, a patchwork planet from multiversal scraps. Could RDJ's Doom do something similar, reshaping the MCU to his liking? What would that look like? A world where Doom rules and the Avengers are his pawns? But here's a twist. What if RDJ's Doom is a variant of Tony Stark? Marvel loves multiversal variants, and RDJ playing a dark Tony turned Doom would be a gut punch for fans. Imagine Tony's genius warped by Doom's ego. Would you buy that twist? Or do you want a pure Victor Von Doom, no Stark baggage? Either way, RDJ's casting means Doom's not just a one-off villain. He's a game changer. Let's tie it all together. In the comics, Doom's ultimate goal isn't just beating Reed or ruling Latveria, it's controlling reality. Whether it's stealing the Beyonder's power or manipulating Scarlet Witch, Doom wants to reshape existence to fit his vision. So could this be his MCU endgame? Let's break it down. First, the MCU's multiverse saga is all about reality breaking apart. From the TVA in Loki to the multiversal cracks in Spider-Man No Way Home, the stakes are cosmic. Doom, with his comic book history of power theft, is the perfect villain to exploit this chaos. What if he targets the multiverse itself, using tech and magic to merge timelines or create his own perfect world? In Secret Wars 2015, Doom does exactly that, crafting a reality where he's God. Could RDJ's Doom pull this off in Avengers Secret Wars? Here's a big question. Who could Doom target in the MCU? Maybe Doctor Strange, whose mystic powers rival Doom's. Or what about America Chavez, who can punch through dimensions? Heck, even Deadpool's fourth wall-breaking chaos could be a target. What if I told you that the master of the mystic arts, Dr. Stephen Strange, might not be the hero we think he is? What if the man who once gave up everything to protect reality is now bending it for someone else's darker purpose? What if Doctor Strange is secretly working with Dr. Doom, and not just in a temporary alliance, but as a co-conspirator in an unimaginable multiversal catastrophe? And what if all of this leads to a mind-blowing betrayal in Avengers Secret Wars that changes the Marvel Cinematic Universe forever? Doctor Strange, the wise protector of the multiverse, teaming up with Victor Von Doom, one of the most egotistical and dangerous minds in the Marvel Universe. But when you start to trace the breadcrumbs across the films, the comics, and even behind-the-scenes developments, things start to make a sinister kind of sense. Strange has always danced on the edge of moral ambiguity. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we saw just how many versions of him were corrupted by power. And the MCU made it very clear, Strange is no saint. His decisions have consequences, and often he takes the ends justify the means approach, even when it fractures the universe. So imagine this. By the time we get to Avengers Doomsday, Doctor Strange is no longer the same man we knew. He's been pushed, tested, and cracked. His exposure to the multiverse, the incursions, and the endless war of realities has eroded his sense of stability. He starts to believe that only someone with a vision, someone willing to do whatever it takes, can save what's left. Enter Dr. Doom. In the comics, Doom is not just a villain. He's a man with unmatched intellect, mysticism, and ambition. During Secret Wars 2015, Doom becomes God Emperor Doom, ruler of a patchwork multiversal world known as Battleworld. But here's where it gets wild. In the comics, Strange actually works with him. He becomes Doom's right-hand man, acting as the sheriff of Battleworld, enforcing his will. Not because he agrees with Doom's methods, but because he believes there is no better option. Now translate that into the MCU, and you get something terrifyingly plausible. The MCU has already laid the foundation for this relationship. With Kang's threat rising and timelines crumbling, Strange might be one of the few who understands the full scope of what's coming. He might realize that the multiverse is not just in danger, it's collapsing. And in that desperation, he seeks out Victor Von Doom, not to stop him, but to join him. Together, they plan something bold, to survive the end of everything, to create something new out of the ashes. But let's take a step back and ask, why would Doctor Strange trust Doom? Because maybe, just maybe, Strange no longer believes in traditional heroism. Think about it. In No Way Home, he risked the fabric of reality to help Peter Parker. In Multiverse of Madness, he saw firsthand the horror of incursion events. And then, imagine what else he's seen since. What if he's witnessed futures where the Avengers fail, where Kang wins, where the multiverse is lost? Strange might conclude that heroes are not enough, that only those with absolute control, like Doom, can build a stable future. He doesn't see Doom as the enemy. He sees him as a necessary evil. And if you're Doctor Strange, you don't back down from necessary evils. You manipulate them. The brilliance of this theory is that it redefines Strange not as a traitor, but as a pragmatist. It's not that he wants to betray the Avengers, it's that he doesn't believe they can do what needs to be done. So in Avengers Doomsday, we may see Strange and Doom orchestrating a scenario that seems like salvation, but is actually manipulation. The Avengers, scrambling to fight Kang, don't realize the real plan isn't to defeat Kang, it's to replace him. Doom wants to ascend. Strange is the one holding open the door. This leads us to Secret Wars. Now keep in mind, Secret Wars isn't just a battle, it's the collapse of everything. Universes smashing into each other, realities folding, timelines erasing themselves. In the comics, when everything ends, only Doom is left standing. And why? Because he stole the power of the Beyonders. Because he used Strange's help. Because Strange let him do it. That's where things get chilling. Doctor Strange might willingly help Doom become the ruler of reality. He might believe that with Doom's iron rule and his own moral compass guiding him from the shadows, they can preserve existence. It's not evil in his eyes, it's evolution. A cosmic utilitarianism. But this alliance can't last forever. Strange is still, at his core, a man torn between duty and ego. Once Battleworld is formed and Doom sits on his throne, Strange begins to question. He sees the cruelty, the tyranny, the delusion. He sees that Doom doesn't just want to save reality, he wants to own it. And Strange realizes he's made a terrible mistake. That moment of reckoning is what fans should look forward to. Because that's the moment when Strange turns, when he helps the Avengers, or what's left of them, spark a rebellion. That's where the cracks in Doom's godhood begin. And that's where Secret Wars finds its emotional core. Not in Doom's tyranny, but in Strange's redemption. There's poetic tragedy in this arc. Strange starts by wanting to save everything, even at the cost of morality. He allies with the devil because he believes he can contain him. But in trying to play God, he becomes complicit in the very doom he feared. And in the end, he has to choose: maintain the illusion of order or shatter everything to give freedom a chance. That's how you make Strange the emotional anchor of Secret Wars. Not a passive player, not a wise mentor, but a flawed, desperate man who gambled with reality and lost. And now he has to fix it. Now let's consider how the MCU might pull this off cinematically. They've already set a darker tone for Strange's character. His hands are not clean. His decisions have led to death, destruction, and chaos. In Multiverse of Madness, we saw what a corrupted Strange looks like. We saw how arrogance can destroy even the most powerful sorcerer. So it's not hard to imagine a version of Strange who genuinely believes doom is the answer. The MCU doesn't need to invent this story. It's already been written, just waiting to be adapted. And let's not forget, Victor Von Doom is coming. Marvel hasn't confirmed when or how, but with the Fantastic Four on the horizon, it's only a matter of time. Doom isn't just another villain, he's the villain. A threat so big he makes Thanos look like a warm-up. And what makes Doom terrifying isn't just his power, it's his belief in his own righteousness. He doesn't want to destroy the world. He wants to fix it, just like Strange. That's what makes them such a compelling duo and an even more terrifying alliance. Two men with God complexes, both convinced they can save the multiverse, even if they have to burn it down first. And the best part? The audience might not even realize what's happening until it's too late. Strange won't announce his betrayal. He won't cackle in the shadows. He'll calmly explain that this is the only way, that the Avengers are too fragmented, that Kang is too dangerous, that Doom, for all his flaws, is the best hope, and that he, Doctor Strange, can guide Doom toward a better path. But of course, Doom doesn't want guidance. He wants obedience. And when Strange refuses to kneel, Doom will crush him. That confrontation could be one of the most powerful scenes in Secret Wars. Doom confronting Strange, Strange admitting his mistake, Doom offering him a place at his side again, and Strange saying no, not this time. That's when the real fight begins. Not just for power, but for redemption. That's when Strange risks everything to help the Avengers shatter Battleworld and restore the multiverse. Not as a hero, but as a man making amends. Have you ever wondered what Dr. Doom would do if he had access to the godlike powers of Franklin Richards? What if Doom wasn't just after conquest, but redemption, resurrection, and rewriting the fate of Marvel's greatest fallen heroes? Could Victor Von Doom actually bring back Wanda Maximoff and Tony Stark not out of guilt or grief, but to forge a cosmic alliance unlike anything the multiverse has ever seen? And what price would he pay, or make others pay, for playing God again? Let's talk about a theory that dives deep into the heart of Doom's most ambitious, secretive, and morally gray plan to date. A plan involving the resurrection of the dead, cosmic manipulation, and one of the most dangerous alliances in the Marvel Universe. This isn't about multiversal war. This is about a calculated resurrection designed not just to bring heroes back, but to use them as tools in Doom's last bid for control over reality itself. It all begins with Franklin Richards, the child of Reed and Sue Richards, the mutant with near-omnipotent power capable of creating entire universes. Franklin has always been a walking paradox, pure yet infinitely dangerous, innocent yet unknowingly divine. Now imagine this, Dr. Doom. Once Franklin's godfather-like figure during moments of strange alliance sees the inevitable decline of the multiverse, realities collapsing, heroes dying, and villains ruling in chaos. But this time, Doom isn't playing catch-up. He's 10 steps ahead, operating from the shadows with a vision that mixes personal vengeance with cosmic ambition. Doom understands one thing no one else does. Franklin's powers, though diminished in recent stories, can be reignited not just as a battery of creation, but as the key to resurrection. Doom's vision isn't to manipulate Franklin in the usual villainous sense, but to guide him, to shape his perception of balance, life, and power. After all, if the gods won't intervene, then Doom will become the god the multiverse needs. And he begins with the greatest resurrection ever attempted. Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. Feared, misunderstood, and shattered by loss and trauma. Her story has always been about control versus chaos, and no one understands this duality better than Doom. He's already tried to harness her powers during the Children's Crusade, only to see how catastrophic her chaos magic could become when unleashed. But what if now he sees in her the chance to perfect the blend of magic and order? What if he believes Wanda's death was a mistake in the grand narrative of the multiverse, and that her resurrection could be his final step in stabilizing it? Here's where things get even darker. Doom doesn't just want Wanda back, he wants her focused, loyal, and reborn through Franklin's hands as a being of controlled chaos. Not to be used, but to be united. Doom envisions her not as a pawn, but as a queen, his equal, perhaps even someone who might see his vision and agree to it. To achieve this, he engineers a resurrection not just of the body, but of the soul, stripping away her guilt and trauma, reconfiguring her identity into something purer, deadlier, and unshakably loyal to the new cosmic balance he seeks. But Doom isn't finished. Wanda's resurrection is only the beginning. The second is Tony Stark, Iron Man, a genius, futurist, and fallen hero whose death left a gaping hole in the technological defense of Earth and beyond. Tony represents the pinnacle of human innovation. Doom doesn't just admire him, he envies him. And in a moment of terrifying clarity, Doom realizes that in his new cosmic order, he needs Tony Stark, not as a rival, but as an architect. Tony's return isn't meant to restore the Avengers. In fact, Doom sees the Avengers as relics of a failed age. What he wants is Stark's mind, untainted by regret, free of ego clashes with Steve Rogers, and reborn through the lens of cosmic understanding. He wants to show Stark a vision he never saw before, where science and mysticism aren't enemies, but companions. A world where Doom leads not with fear, but with inevitability. Tony becomes the builder of this new era, a man not trying to save the world, but to redesign it from the molecular level. And Franklin, as the spark of this rebirth, is Doom's silent partner in reshaping reality. But here's the twist. Doom isn't reviving them out of kindness or altruism. He's reviving them because he knows what's coming. An extinction-level convergence of collapsing realities. Something far worse than secret wars. Something born out of the detritus of fractured timelines and corrupted multiversal logic. Kang's manipulations, incursions bleeding into each other, the Celestials' judgment, everything is heading toward a singularity. And Doom knows that even his power alone won't be enough. But with Wanda, Tony, and Franklin, he doesn't just survive, he conquers. However, this isn't a story of pure domination. Doom sees himself as the reluctant savior. He believes the universe has abandoned balance. Heroes are too idealistic, villains too selfish. He wants order, not in the name of tyranny, but as a necessity for survival. Every resurrection is a calculation. Every alliance is a means to a higher end. Wanda's magic, Tony's mind, Franklin's creation, they are not subordinates, but elements of Doom's final trinity. Of course, not everyone will stand aside. Reed Richards will fight. Strange will intervene. Mutants will challenge. But Doom has anticipated all of it. He knows how to counter every move because this isn't just power, it's prophecy. He believes this is destiny. And the most terrifying part is, he might be right. Think about the psychological manipulation involved. Franklin, still a young man seeking purpose, sees in Doom the only adult who treats him not as a child, but as a god. Doom doesn't fear Franklin, he reveres him. He builds his trust, tells him stories of balance and betrayal, of creation and destruction, and slowly convinces him that the only way to bring back the ones they lost is not through chaos, but structured resurrection. He frames it as healing, In truth, it's the re-engineering of fate. And what about the resurrected Tony? Would he agree with Doom's plan? Or would Doom reboot him, selectively reviving only the parts he needs, the logic, the invention, the fearless pragmatism? The answer lies in how Doom reconstructs his allies. He doesn't bring back the past versions. He brings optimized futures. Wanda without madness. Tony without doubt. A cosmic task force reassembled not to protect Earth, but to rebuild all of reality. This theory suggests that Doom is not just seeking dominance, but design. He wants a multiverse where collapse is no longer possible, where every reality spins in harmony because Doom was the one who wrote the new rules. Franklin becomes the engine, Wanda becomes the heart, Tony becomes the architect, and Doom, he becomes the silent god behind the curtain. The moral complexity here is staggering. On one hand, Doom may prevent the annihilation of all existence. On the other, he's using the most dangerous powers of life and death to play judge, jury, and creator. Can someone like Doom truly wield this kind of power and not lose himself in the process? Or worse, what if this time he's actually right and no one else is brave enough to do what needs to be done? This isn't about Doom turning good. It's about Doom becoming inevitable. Ask yourself this. If you had the power to bring back the dead, reshape minds, and prevent universal extinction, but the only person who could do it was someone like Doom, would you let him? And if Wanda, Tony, and Franklin all stand beside him, not enslaved, but truly believing in the vision, then who's left to stop him? Would anyone even want to? This theory leaves us with an uncomfortable truth. Maybe Doom doesn't need to conquer anymore. Maybe he's evolved past that. Maybe the new Doom doesn't rule with fear, but with purpose. And in doing so, he might just create a new universe where the only lie left is the idea that the heroes were ever in control. So what do you think? Is Dr. Doom's resurrection plan a twisted salvation or the beginning of something far worse? If he actually pulls this off, what happens to the balance of power across the Marvel multiverse? Let us know what your version of this theory would look like. Who else would Doom bring back? And most importantly, would you follow Doom into the future he's building, or fight to stop him, even if it meant losing everything again?